What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 short squeeze stocks to add to your watch list for this upcoming week. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off this upcoming week, Monday is closed. So that is where Trump is going to be sworn in. It's Martin Luther King Day on a side note, but a lot of individuals are under the impression that post inauguration, you're going to see a market rally in addition to a crypto rally as well. So potentially, if that does come to fruition, then a lot of heavily shorted stocks, many of which I'm going to be bringing up, could stand to benefit. So without further ado, let's get right to stock number 5. Ticker is IONQ. So sitting at $38.89, did go down 6.4% on Friday, but over the last 1 year, up 258%. Recently, regaining some strength from its recent low of $27. So pretty good, nice reversal for that. This is what they do. On a side note, in case you are curious, so 324 employees, founded in 2015, but we are here because of this. And in case you're new to the channel, I don't just look at the most heavily shorted stocks. I like a good combination of a highish, somewhat DTC, good recent stock performance, a high short score, and as well factoring in number of shares being shorted. So short score is 64.08. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. 13.4% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 26.14 million shares. I'm not going to bring this up, but feel free to always look at this number right here. That is the change from the previous day. So for instance, on Friday, cost of borrow average is 1.34. And just generally looking at what shorts have been doing, they have been returning. So they're obviously sensing a secondary run, but still there is $1.05 billion worth of shorts in this company. So once again, something to kind of add to your watch list. And as well, I always like to look at the available shares. So right now there is 5,000 available shares. That's it. So usually what you do see whenever you have stocks like this is them buying from big money. More notably, BlackRock, Vanguard, many other institutions love to buy stocks that are very heavily shorted, that there's money to be made through the cost to borrow. So usually you see some buying as a byproduct of that. So come Tuesday, once the market does reopen, you might see some buying and prompting it to go up even further. So something again to add to your watch list. Moving on to stock number 4, ticker WOLF, sitting at $6.28, did go down 7.1% on Friday. Over the last 1 year, it is down 80.06, but still it is kind of bouncing off of the low of roughly $4 on January the 14th. So still pretty good momentum behind the scenes. This is what they do, so feel free to kind of pause it. So semiconductors, 5,000 plus employees, founded in 1987, but we're here because of this. So good amount of DTC, 266 million in total shares, or I guess shorts dollar value. 71.03 is that short score. 25.41% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 39.18 million shares. Cost of borrow average 1.28. And generally, just looking here, shorts have started to really increase a little bit. So from the recent low, it looks like it was around 29. So definitely something to keep in mind, the fact that shorts are still lingering. And on a side note, there's a lot of other good information up top here that I don't necessarily go over, so feel free to pause it. But it does indicate roughly around 900,000 shares is available to be shorted. So this one is stock number 4. Moving on to stock number 3. This one was on the list last week. It is starting to gain some pretty good momentum. Over the last 1 year, it is up 120%. And actually, I forgot the name, ticker BBAI. So Big Bear sitting at 392. So Friday kind of pulled back a little bit, down 5.54, but still, like I said, it is bouncing off of the recent low of roughly $3. So gaining some pretty good momentum in that regard. This is what they do. So IT consulting and other services, 480 employees, based out of Columbia in the States, but short score 75.8, utilization 89.83, 21.68% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 39.53 million shares. And just generally looking over here, shorts have started to increase. So short interest was roughly 14% at the beginning of January, and now it is at that 22. And just based on IBKR, does indicate around 15,000 shares is available. So you could see some buying, potentially just to take advantage of this juicy cost to borrow. So IBKR, for instance, does charge 19.36. So this one is stock number 3. Moving on to stock number 2, ticker EOSE. So sitting at $6.02. And it did go down slightly on Friday, so down 2.27%. Over the last 1 year, up 577%. And this one definitely has a lot of good momentum backed behind it. This is kind of the basic information up top here as well, or in the middle. I'm not necessarily going to waste time and go through that, so if you want to, feel free to pause it. So as far as this, so electrical components and equipment, 420 employees, but 84 is that short score. 26.9% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 57.69 million shares. 10.53 is that cost to borrow average. And just as well, looking at what shorts have been doing, they've been maintaining, keeping roughly around that 27% range. Kind of reducing a little bit, but still nothing crazy. And factoring in the stock price has gone up quite significantly over the short time. Like shorts are holding on for dear life a little bit. So again, something just to be aware of. And DTC is at 6.76 days. So very high for that. And 650,000 shares is available to be shorted. So that could come into play as well this upcoming week, where you might see some buying just to take advantage of that cost to borrow. So this one is stock number 2. And then finally, stock number 1. This one is a interesting one, ticker IBRX, sitting at $2.94. It did go down slightly on Friday, down 3.29% over the last 1 year, down 19.45%. But it is starting to gain a little bit of traction. So over the last 5 days, up 24.26%. This is what they do. So biotech, 672 employees. But not only is it gaining some pretty good traction, but shorts have been really doubling the hell down. So based on this, it does indicate 99.13% of the free float is being shorted. It works out to be 50.41 million shares. Short score, very high, 86.09. Cost to borrow is 9.77. And it looks as though from transitioning from December to pretty much the end of December, that's where shorts just doubled the hell down like crazy. So this one has a DTC of 7.02 days, and through IBKR does indicate roughly around 1.6 million shares is available to be shorted. So if you kind of do just look at the basic math, shares on loan is 79.97, but going over here for a second, this essentially is the free float. So there is more shares on loan than there is available shares. So this is a very clear indication that there is naked shorting occurring with this stock. So this one is stock number 1. Let me know your thoughts on these top 5 stocks to add to your watch list. Do you think that there is going to be a broad market pump going into this upcoming week, or do you think it's just going to kind of fall short? What's your viewpoint? And if there is any other squeeze stocks that you feel is something to add to your watch list, throw some tickers in the description below, and I can definitely look at it. But one final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.